Thank you for tuning in to the Royds Review Podcast. This week, Rob, Andy, and John have watched and written songs about 30 Days of Night. Will these songs survive the polar winter? Find out next on the Royds Review Podcast.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Royds Review Podcast.
And Andy.
I'm Rob, and you've all met Andy.
I'm Andy.
And we are the Royds, here today talking about 30 Days of Night. And there's a third voice. Is that a ghost?
That ghost sounded real excited to be scaring you there.
Well, yeah, because you're here. Welcome,
Oh.
John Hernandez.
Hello, everybody, out in Royd's world.
It's a former Royd.
I was a former Royd, yes.
Yeah.
I play the bass. I also played the Yaz Chongas.
I don't know what that means.
A Royd
it's
staple.
the Chongas, like the
Oh.
bongos, but for Yaz.
Okay. Because that's what you said when you were just banging on my mom's titties.
Oh.
Here's how this one's gonna go.
You just said I'm banging on Los Chongos or whatever the fuck you just called it. You said I'm banging on Los Chungus, and I was like, I don't like this. Yeah.
Bugs
Doesn't
Bunny?
Andy's mom listen to this?
She does. She'll be very upset with both of you. Not me. I'm
sorry,
the golden
Mr.
boy.
Ferris.
I'm a good boy.
I'm not. You've known me long enough.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm really happy to be on here with you guys, though. Thank you so much for having me.
No, but we're happy to have you, John, of course, from the Scrap Metal Podcast.
Hell yeah.
John, give us a little background on what you do on the Scrap Metal Podcast.
Sure thing. So Scrap Metal comes out every other week on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We discuss, my co-host Chris and I discuss everything ranging from classic heavy metal to more modern bands, and kind of the difficulty of trying to find new bands when you're pretty set in your ways and happen to be like a old school metal elitist, one of them cool guys that's real popular on TikTok
A
now.
real fart sniffer.
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Wait, what?
really waffing in your own, like...
Yes, exactly. Smelling my own stuff. But yeah, it's tons of fun, and it was really exciting when you guys asked me to be on the show. Like to have a little cross promotion there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Scrap Metal
Hell yeah,
Podcast.
brother.
Well, it's awesome. We also know you're a horror movie expert.
I wouldn't say expert. I'm a little Forrest Gump with a lot of things. So I do love horror movies, though. I happen to run a horror film festival as well. Coming up this October 28th, the Scared for Your Life Film Festival is running its 6th year. So anybody that's listening, come on down.
Hell yeah.
You have to tell them where.
That's in Huntington. That's
Oh,
Huntington.
that was good.
For the
Nice.
uninitiated.
So yes, that's in Huntington, New York, everyone. Don't go to Huntington Beach, California.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, I fucked up.
Shit.
No, Huntington, New York. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So go check that out. Horror Movie Festival. If you're into horror movies, I know. You know what? I'm a scaredy bitch. We have scaredy cats. I'm a scaredy bitch. It's just a bigger animal.
Well, before we get into movies from this year and whatnot, I would like to know off the bat, being a scaredy guy.
Oh, okay. That's a
Did
great
this
joke.
movie-
That's a great joke because there are vampires.
Nice.
Vampire.
A vampire. Did this movie scare you?
No.
Okay.
You were able to handle it.
This is gonna be weird. I wouldn't consider this movie a horror movie after watching
Okay.
it.
That was going to be one of my questions.
Okay.
I watch it and then because I feel like at this point there's a difference between vampire movies and horror movies. I don't think vampires are scary, and I don't think the general public has thought of vampires as scary in 30 years. Vampires are sexy.
You're right. And that was one of the big things behind 30 Days of Night, where they wanted to kind of return to making the audience scared of the vampires.
Right, like Nosferatu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before this, the main big vampire movies that had come out were things like Blade, which was more of an action, which I would kind of consider this more of an action horror adventure
Yes.
kind of movie. And even before that, you had Interview with the Vampire, which was like the sexiest vampires that you could imagine. Shirts open, showing chest hair. Typo Negative is playing in the background.
Yeah.
Real quick, hold on, because this is a Royds Review podcast. We have to hold up a tradition. Typo Negative, Peter Steele, swinging dick, baby.
Absolutely.
Here he goes.
We were comparing earlier, and none of us measures up to that.
No, you can't. That man
No.
was also 7 foot tall.
Yeah, he had an advantage.
40% of that being schlong. So, so yeah, before this, we were all kind of accustomed to being like, oh, cool, super sexy gothic vampires. And that was kind of the norm. So the thought was, let's return to the days of something being a little bit more frightening, something along the lines of like Mr. Barlow from Salem's Lot, Nosferatu, the original Dracula from Bram Stoker's novel. So it's, for me, as a horror fan, I love this movie. I saw this movie in theaters, and just the brutality with which the vampires tend to attack throughout the movie and their calculatedness, it was amazing for me. I loved it. And that's why I've seen this movie now like 8 or 9 times. So this is probably the first time that I've gone into it being a little bit more critical, which I was happy about, because now I got to sit there and nitpick, which I fucking love doing.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the biggest, like, we're getting into it a little early, but we will get into movies from this year. But I think that's my biggest issue with that is, like, it's great that you're trying to make vampires more frightening. And I like that they made it darkness, but there was never any mystery. There was nothing ever. It was never creepy. There was never, like, you got tense, but it felt more like an action flick than it did a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they focused on building the tension, at least, because like you said, you know what to expect. It's like going in to see a zombie movie. You know what you're gonna get. You're not necessarily afraid of the zombies. You're waiting for what's the next big shenanigan that they're gonna get themselves into, who's gonna get bit, who's gonna have to hide, blah blah blah.
I find with vampire movies, whenever somebody turns into a vampire, you just like, you're a weirdo. Like, every vampire is a fucking weirdo. Like, even the big bad guy, he's like, like, he's just so weird. Like, everything, like the way he moves, everything. It's just a fucking weirdo. And then that got me thinking about all vampire movies. Sorry, I misspoke. But like,
I'm just picturing vampire wombats when you say that.
I don't know where I got that. I think
I'm
it's like
sure
the
if you look
old-timey
at hard enough,
pronunciation.
you'll find it. You'll find a vampire wombat movie.
Yeah.
But you're right, and it kind of speaks to the way that I look at it is that these vampires are so old, Marlowe in particular, that they don't even see the need to be menacing anymore. They're just like, fucking, all right, I need to eat, I'm gonna feed, and it's like a cat playing with its food, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he was really sad in the sequel, Marlowe and Me.
Very good.
That was
very
awful. Yeah, I bawled like a baby. It's so tragic.
Let me tell you about some movies that came out. Well, horror movies specifically, because we're in Spook My Pants Off-tober.
Oh boy, that movie was scary. I defecated Ctober.
October.
Nice. Hey Andy, what kind of year for movies did you say this was?
I would say this is a relatively big movie. Fuck. It was a big year for movies. Robbie, why do you ask? Is it because we're trying to introduce this new segment that I botched?
But yeah, 2007, a big year for movies.
So 28 weeks later came out. That's the sequel to 28 Days Later.
28 Days Later, famously about a period.
Nice. That has Jeremy Renner in it. I think that's one of his like first starring roles. Maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong.
That was a big role for him in that. He gets it on fire. Spoiler alert.
He does. I quite like both of those movies. I mean, the first one's better, but like,
because Jeremy Renner gets set on fire, the second one's better.
No.
If 28 Days Later is about a period, is 28 weeks later about an abortion?
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Another movie that came out in 2007 is Trick or Treat.
Oh,
One of my favorites.
Shit. I saw that at your house.
Yeah, I was fairly drunk and made sure everyone watched it before they left.
They have I Am Legend on here. Would either of you consider that a horror movie?
No, that's a sci-fi. I mean, okay,
I cried
if we
during
go by
that
the original
movie.
source material. That's The Last Man on Earth, which was a horror novel, but
Yeah.
the movie not so much.
Man. Well, I know it was. I think originally in that it's all vampires as well.
yes, yeah, in the original story. And then they just made them photosensitive people, just like
Yeah.
someone without sunblock, pretty much.
I like how PC they got about it. Photosensitive people.
Yeah.
Saw 4.
I saw 4 of those. Dead
for
Silence
what?
came out too.
Dead Silence. Which one's
Yeah.
that?
From the director of Saw, James Wan, who gifted us with the cinematic masterpiece that is The Curse of La Llorona. Dead Silence is about a bunch of ventriloquist dummies that this woman puts her spirit into, and they chase one of the Wahlbergs. I forget which one.
Oh, not Mark, obviously.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have forgotten.
I like that you call him Mark.
Yeah, we're buds.
Marcus Wahlberg.
Marcus.
Sweeney Todd came out in 2007.
Oh shit.
I feel. This again.
I always sing, I peel you banana.
Nice.
I peel you.
Vacancy. Is that with? I can't see it because the thumbnail is tiny. Is that with Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale? Or am I thinking?
Yes,
No
it is. No, you're thinking of No Vacancy, maybe.
Okay. Well, either way, that movie. Towards the end of it, spoiler alert for some movie that nobody cares about. Yeah, Luke Wilson gets stabbed multiple times by the bad guys and dies. Like he just drops dead. And then Kate Beckinsale runs away, and she dispatches the bad guys, and then comes back.
She's a
to
dispatcher.
her-
She's like, coming in, bad guys. Go out to get Luke Wilson.
You're loud and clear, Roger. But she comes back to her husband's corpse, and then she like rubs his face, like caresses his face, and then he's just like, "Oh, I'm okay." And then the movie ends. Like, what? What? So you just
man.
laid there with stab wounds for an hour and a half? Fuck you and fuck this movie. That's what I said at the time.
The Rihanna song Disturbia came out.
Oh, look at that.
Was that with Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
Yep, the song.
Known all around good guy.
Yep. Everyone loves Shia LaBeouf.
Love that. One of my favorites, Wreck, came out in 2007. I forget
Oh,
that
we
that
already
was that
did
year.
Rectember.
Ah, god damn it. Wreck is a Spanish language film, which later got bastardized by Hollywood, got remade into a movie called Quarantine. Just watch the fucking original, believe me.
I lived quarantine. I don't need to watch a movie about it.
Yeah, I saw
Nice one.
Quarantine, and I said, this is very good. But I heard that the original was better. I didn't know it was called Wreck.
Yes, it's a Spanish language film, and Quarantine was pretty much like a shot-for-shot remake of it, but without the finesse and good parts, I guess you could say. The Bratz movie came out in 2007. How the fuck did that make that onto this list?
It horrified someone.
I always love the Google lists because like they have the little subsections, and this one is 2007 horror movies about sisters. Like that's so specific, and you know, just some dudes beating their dick to this. But the Doobie Brothers song "Blackwater" came out in 2007.
Yeah, that was when everybody wanted to remake the Japanese horror movies, and then we got like The Grudge and stuff
The
like
Grudge,
that.
yeah. Hey, if I saw a kid just meowing in the corner of my room, I'd be like, hey, can you get out? Can you just leave?
I'd simply kick him.
Not scary. Get out of my
In the
fucking
ribs.
house, weirdo.
I will say this: there are several movies with alligators from 2007 or crocodiles. We have How Fast Can You Swim? Rogue. Oh no, the movie's called Rogue, and the tagline is How Fast Can You Swim? I don't think the tagline should be bigger than the title. Like, I don't think the tagline should be in the center and bigger than the title, because I would have no idea this movie was
Yeah.
called Rogue.
Tell me the studio doesn't care about your movie without telling me that the studio doesn't care about your movie.
Well, like there's that. There's Primeval. There's Blackwater. There's Lake Placid 2. All have alligators or crocodiles on the cover.
Crocodilators.
Lake Placid 1 is a fantastic piece of film. Madam Betty White is in that movie, and she feeds a cow to a fucking giant alligator.
That's incredible. Does she get eaten by an alligator?
No, she doesn't.
That's
Her
a
husband
shame.
to it, though.
That's sick.
Oh, shit.
That's fucking sick. Okay.
The Mist is also another horror movie that came out in 2007. If you ask me, that was a missed opportunity by the studio to put out the movie in the original black and white like they wanted to.
Oh, yeah, that's why the special effects look like duty.
Yep.
Yeah,
The
it's a
special
good movie,
effects look like they're a sign of the times. Like if
Yeah,
you were
but-
watching that back in 2007, you'd be like, "This is okay."
Now that I see what
true,
that
that's
movie
true.
is, yeah, no, that movie was good, but that ending is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. One of my top favorite endings, where they just go, "Hey, fuck you."
After watching that
Sucks.
movie, I was the pissed.
Nice.
A regular jokey boy.
Well, are we trying to get into this movie, 1,000 years of...
Noche?
No, let him get it out, John. No, John. When he gets himself into that, you let him
Yeah,
get
Andy,
himself
get it out.
Just let-
Get it
let
out,
me write
Andy.
Let me
Pull it
write
out.
All right, 500 Days of Summer. Let's go.
So Zoe Deschanel.
Wait, Zoe Deschanel without the bangs is much scarier than any of the vampires in this movie. I'll just put it out there.
That is mean. That is mean, even for the
It's
Royds
not
Review
even. It's not even
podcast.
like about her being ugly or anything like that. It's just disturbing to see it. It's like watching a bear wave at you or something like that.
No, it's just Then it's just Emily Deschanel.
Oh, there you go.
All right, let's
So-
get into 5 Seconds of Summer.
Jesus Christ, Andy's mad about it now. Let's fucking go, guys.
I have jokes.
John, kick us off here.
Sure thing. So, one thing I really like about the movie, real quick, was that this was originally pitched by David Slade, the director, to the studio as a movie. And then when they were like, it's about vampires, I don't know. We haven't put out Twilight yet, I don't think. But no one really wants vampire movies.
There's an executive. Have we put out Twilight yet?
We working on that one? No.
Is this
All right.
gonna make us money?
But so after the studio rejected his initial pitch to make this into a movie, he went back to the drawing board and made it into a comic book. So it was, I believe, a 3-issue comic run. Huge success, really, really big. After that, I think Sam Raimi got word of it, sniffed it out, and said, like, hey, we should really make this into a movie. And they were like, welcome back. Let's get this done for you. But
The essence of the former self is always in the current self.
Precisely. Thank you, Dr. Gunther.
No, whoa, whoa.
So we start the movie out with perhaps my absolute favorite character of the film, the stranger, played by Ben Foster. He is
Just you wait.
he is the
hard to look at.
perfect, like, yeah, he is
like with the foam.
because he was Cajun, or
When he
is that what you're
started-
saying?
Nah, because the foam in his mouth when he was yelling. I was like,
Yeah.
that's disgusting.
Yeah, it
What's
is.
wrong with a man wanting a little fresh meat?
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, we're quoting Epstein in this movie.
Nice.
Oh, yikes.
Okay, you're right. He's dead. Let's not disrespect him. We're quoting Clinton in this movie.
Nice.
But yeah, Ben Foster is like, I think 80% of the reason that I keep coming back to this movie is the first act with Ben Foster. He plays
he's
the
good.
perfect Renfield. And for anyone that doesn't know, Renfield referring to Renfield from the original Dracula novel, who is like a familiar for Dracula. Basically, he's there to set everything up for Dracula to come. He's been promised eternal life. And of course, as always happens with vampires, Dracula says, fuck you at the end of it all. And he's left like just eating bugs. There's the part in the story where he's taking a fly, feeding it to a spider, feeds that spider to a bird, gets a cat into his asylum, feeds the bird to the cat, and then eats the cat because he figures, oh, it's all this lifeblood, life force. I'm filtering it through and now basically draining that.
And that, of course, influenced the song "There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Fly."
Wholesome beginnings. Wholesome beginnings.
Exactly.
But it's kind of like what we see with Ben Foster. He's supposed to be a Renfield type character. He's asking for that meat. He is supposing that they're going to be giving him eternal life.
I'm glad you explained this because I had no fucking clue.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. You've said Renfield several times. I'm like, oh, good, he's explaining it. Because I was about to do one of those things where I was going to go, hey, for our listeners, why don't you tell us what it is? But you did that by yourself. I was like, fucking sick.
Yeah, trying as hard as I can not to sound pretentious, going, well, for anyone that doesn't know.
Well, you carry the 6.
Which is fucking carry
Always
the 6 again.
Carry the 6. But yeah, so like if you've ever watched What We Do in the Shadows, Guillermo is a familiar. He could be seen as a Renfield, except that he doesn't go nuts with the promise of, oh, I'm going to be made into a vampire. He's played much more longingly. A Renfield is often played as someone who's gone absolutely bananas, bonkers, insane because they have this promise of eternal life on the horizon, and they just keep getting strung along and strung along and strung along. Now, in 30 Days of Night, it seems like the vampires got aboard the ship that Ben Foster was on. And this is actually the first time that I realized there's like a little rowboat, like a lifeboat, right on the shore when he's standing out and looking back at the ship. Forever, like for 15 years now, since I saw this movie in theaters, I thought one of the vampires was like, Josh, do us a favor, just fly him to the shore. Fly him over. And then like they drop him off and he's like, man, he's always me. But I finally realized there's actually like a little lifeboat right at the shore. And yeah, he comes into town and just fucks shit up. And thankfully, we get a little line of dialogue when I believe it's Wilson mentions that the last time that he went to go check on his helicopter before everyone's leaving for polar winter was 4 days ago. So we've got to assume from the time that we see Ben Foster at the beginning of the movie to the time when Eben starts finding everything getting fucked up, it's been at least 4 days. When you take that into account, the whole scene with the cell phones being burned makes a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that was one of the things that I always wondered, like, how the hell did he just scurry through the snow undetected?
Got cell phone.
Gathered everyone's satellite phones. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that little piece of dialogue definitely clears that up.
I'm glad you pointed that out. Because I also wasn't even thinking about that.
I mean, I figured that he was like a kind of like a familiar, just because he was like, they're coming and they're gonna save me or whatever he was saying.
His dialogue in that part, I have a whole section in my notes dedicated to Ben Foster because I'm in love with him. This is gonna get weird, guys.
Hell yeah.
So for anyone that doesn't know, Ben Foster has like super famous character actor, has been a bunch of stuff. He's the mad gunman in 3:10 to Yuma. I was talking about this movie with a friend of mine the other day, and she's like, who's Ben Foster again? And I was like, he's been in this, he's been in that. He's the kid that gets pushed off the bleachers in Freaks and Geeks. And she goes, that's the one I know him from.
I don't know. You mentioned the burnt phones. All I wrote was 2 dudes find burnt phones. One dude has the whitest teeth.
Is that Billy or
I don't fucking know. He just had really white teeth. That's all. I was like, that dude's teeth are nuts.
It's because there's nothing else to do when you've got 30 days of night. Brush your teeth.
You sit there brushing your teeth. All right, honey, gonna go brush my teeth again.
That's how they see in the dark in this polar winter. You know, the snow doesn't help them. It's the whiteness of the teeth.
His teeth are so white that they're iridescent.
This all makes sense now.
Incredible.
Ben Foster's whole like speech about, this time they're gonna take me back, they're gonna honor me, that whole thing is great. And like just all his little lines are fucking golden.
That cold ain't the weather, that's death approaching.
Yep. It's I mean, you play it more for yucks.
Yes.
I kind of wish that he would have played it like a Scooby-Doo character now, though.
He plays that as an old coal miner. There's gold up in them there hills.
There's vampires coming. Just you wait and see. He's gonna sound like Mr. McGuckin from Gravity Falls.
Vampires. Incredible. you can tell it's 2007 because Josh Hartnett is in it.
Nice.
Where the fuck is that guy? Where'd he go?
Yeah.
He was in everything, and then he was in nothing.
He's on a milk carton.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Because he's missing, Andy. Get it?
God.
You get
Oh
it?
my gosh.
My word. I'll be honest. He's playing this dude Eben. I wrote Evan throughout the first half of this movie, and then when I paused it at one point, I went, "Wait, his name is fucking Eben with an B?
Yeah.
I hope he dies." Spoiler alert. I was happy, but also fuck this dude. He's just giving citations for the sake of it. Like, his partner's like, you didn't have to do that. He's like, yeah, I know. I just wanted to. Yo, ACAB. Yo, fuck this dude.
He's in the Arctic. He gets a pass. He doesn't see enough people to be ACAB.
It helps that guy feel like a part of the community or whatever he says. Like, wow.
Yeah, when he gets the citation in the mail and he's going, fuck.
But also, that dude thought he was in the Wild West in 2007. He goes, isn't that why we live out here? For freedom. It's like, all right, Arthur Morgan, why don't you chill the fuck out? The fucking Pinkerton aren't on your ass right now.
We're gonna go to Tahiti and we're gonna become mango farmers, Arthur.
No, we're not, Bo. You're breaking the fucking law and you're getting a citation. This is 2007. This is a post 9/11 world. You can't park your tow truck there. Whatever the fuck you were doing.
I think he had a leak. There was a gas leak of some sort.
Yeah,
He was taking a leak. It was public urination.
It was leaking Earl, I think. It was leaking some Earl. I will say this about this movie. Great concept. Like the concept of like, okay, this town experiences like a month of night. What if vampires came? They'd all be fucked. Like, okay, awesome concept. But like, I feel like they're setting up like characters and like a love story, like a half-baked love story. And I don't give a shit about anybody or anything other than like, I'm just trying to see vampires rip people apart. Like, just the
True.
I feel like the love story is so half-assed. Like, oh, like at the end when he's gonna die, she's like, "Oh man, I shouldn't have broken up with you." It's like that's
too late for that now.
This whole thing, like you guys spent a month in an attic. We got nothing. And then at the very end, I'm gonna die in your arms. We're gonna watch the sunset together, or sunrise together. Fuck off.
I mean, I'm glad you said that because one of my notes is off the bat, I don't give a fuck about Stella, and I wrote Evan because I thought his name was Evan at this point.
I didn't care about any like all the characters are boring as fuck except for the dude who finally nuts up at one point. He's like, now it's my turn, and he gets into that fucking
that's the littest scene of the fucking movie.
Oh,
yeah. He gets to the death machine.
tractor.
He kills like half of them, and it's like, hey, bro, why didn't you do this in the beginning, you son of a bitch?
Because it wasn't until then that he felt like part of the village.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I do love that setup though, because Eben is talking all this shit about, well, if I give enough citations, he'll feel like one of us. Finally, he's the one who's like pshawing all their fucking plans anytime they say anything. And then he realizes like, oh, you know, this is a situation where it's either someone steps up or nothing.
Right.
And he's like, fuck it, I'll do it.
And he's the only character that I enjoyed because there is an arc. The guy learns something. Yeah, he does something. He makes a sacrifice. Although I thought his death was like way too painful.
Oh, that's.
He crashes the thing into the thing. He's clearly concussed, and then
seeing him fly through the air is so silly.
But
it's
he also
so fucking goofy.
He lit the dynamite way too early.
Well,
like, he didn't wait till they were there. He was like, "Oh shit!" The minute he saw them, he was like, "Fuck it."
A little
click.
overzealous with it.
But like, it exploded in his hand, and then he was still alive. And then the guy stepped on his skull until it's broken. I was like, "All right, he's dead."
That's one of my favorite fucking effects in the movie. That's from effects master Gino Acevedo. He has done tons and tons of movies. I should have written them all down because now I sound stupid. But he's done so many different horror movies. He's been in the industry for years. I believe he worked with Rick Baker, who is famous for working on the Thriller music video, An American Werewolf in London, one of my favorite effects artists.
And he also worked with Ginger Baker.
Yes, he's the
Nice.
one who actually, that broken nose in the documentary, that's actually a special effect.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
That's how convincing he was.
Yeah,
But
turns out he wasn't actually a dick.
Yeah. Also, the Ginger Baker that we see in that special effects makeup, that wasn't even
Holy
him.
shit.
Every Ginger Baker since 1974, since he's been on the run, was just special effects. He
But,
never left Africa.
The head was just a life mold of Mark Boone Jr. who plays Bo. Actually went on to be in Sons of Anarchy later on in his career, which is like the perfect arc character wise. So basically they did that life cast. They set up like a bunch of bone shards inside and everything, and like a bladder where they could just reinflate it every time until they got the right take. So then they had Danny Houston, who plays Marlowe, the lead vampire, come in and just stomp right on it.
All right,
Gina-
Danny, you're gonna stomp on his bladder. He's like, wait, what? What the fuck are you gonna have him do?
What kind of movie is this again?
I'm into it. Don't get me wrong. We're doing piss play. I'm into piss play, but
I like how the vampires also, like, when they suck the blood, they just they motorboat it. There's like they get up in your neck.
Yeah.
well, they have the sped up camera in the first vampire effect, with the first vampire attack, which I fucking love. Real quick, thank you so much for listening. If you want to send us some feedback, send us an email at roydsreview@gmail.com. That's ROYDSREVUE@gmail.com.
You could also find our music on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your music, by searching The Royds. That's ROYDS. We have 2 albums and a Christmas song. Hope you like it.
The problem with the vampires is that they are either super animalistic and super opportunistic, or they are just like so confident that they're just walking through super slow. So like the first attack at the pipeline is great to watch. The attack on John Reese, whose dogs get fucking killed, which, can we just talk about how brutal the fucking dog killing was?
You
I
need
did
to
not
warn me
remember it
before you
being
put that shit in a movie.
that.
I can't. No, all of a sudden, I can't have a dog be murdered in front of me. I can
Yeah.
no.
DoesTheDogDie.com is your best friend when you watch 30 Days of Night.
But like, I can live with the dog dying, but like, you can't have it be a brutal death right in front of my eyes out of nowhere.
It's intense. Yeah, for
We just
anybody
watched
who
The Thing.
listens to this and goes, "Oh, I should watch that." Just be aware. You're going to see some fucking good boy jaws ripped open. It's nasty.
You're right. This was 2 movies in a row. We had to watch a fucking dog die.
Yeah, we just watched The Thing last week.
Yo, we should do a block of movies like that. The Dog Dies of Summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they attack John Reese and his wife at home, they pull her like under the crawl spaces, like under the houses, and just like scurry her away with her like there's some sort of like mountain lion pulling the fucking deer up into the tree or something, which is awesome. And then the way that they like leap on you, or that they like scratch people when they're attacking, that's so cool. But then you've got like later on at the end of the movie, for example, they're all just standing around watching Eben and Marlowe fight like it's the fucking knife fight scene in the Beat It video.
I think when the old man with dementia is walking around, and then one of them hears it, like he walks in and he's like, the vampire walks in, but he's just like hissing for no reason. He's just like I'm a scary guy.
Yeah.
It's like that. What are you doing?
I'm glad you mentioned the hissing, because one of my questions, and I'm just gonna blow one of my questions now, is do they have like echolocation or some shit? Is that why he's making all that fucking noise? Like he's walking, like you said, he's walking through like, ah! It's like, we're gonna warn them you're fucking there, asshole.
Also, with the design of the vampires, some of them just like the main dude, the main vampire, Marlowe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Marlowe,
Marlowe
just looks like a regular guy with sharp teeth and weird eyes, right? Maybe a little pale.
Right.
Then some of
They're
them
called
it looks like-
albinos, Andy.
I think it's albinos. There's an enye on the end.
No, I'm sorry, it's
Albino.
Albanians.
There you go.
Yeah.
The some of them, it looks like becoming a vampire like changes their bone structure in their face, like they got a weird look, and I thought that was cool. But then, like, it wasn't all of them, so maybe there's like species of vampires.
Yeah, I think Iris, which is the like Marlowe's lover, is the one where her eyes almost like are slanted inwards. It's a crazy look.
Yeah, yeah. And like her cheeks
Yeah.
are super high.
But real quick, speaking of Marlowe's lover, there's definitely some sick deviant art of her, right? Which we're gonna have a segment
Most
later,
likely.
and John, you'll do the honors.
Wonderful. How fast can I beat it?
No.
Is that what it's called?
We're gonna have a fucking race. Who can finish first to Marlowe's lover?
Yikes. I will tell you a couple of things I really liked about this movie. Considering most of the stuff I've said so far has been relatively negative, but there's that one part where like it's an aerial shot of the entire village just getting torn apart.
That's so fucking good. That's a great
That's
fucking
so
shot.
cool. Yeah, and the only thing I wish about that shot is I wish they got I wish they got a few more shots off. I wish we saw a few more vampire deaths, or what are they, wampire?
Vampire.
Yeah,
the medical term.
Oh no, you have vampire.
I like
fucking
how
Puss in Boots diagnosing people.
Vampiricus.
I like how the blood like really it's like striking on the snow, like on the white. You see all the red. It like really shines. It's
right.
The visuals in a lot of parts are very good. Another one.
They watched Schindler's List.
Here we go.
What? What did I?
Here we go, Robbie. The truck flip, very cool.
Yeah, that ambush attack when Eben and Stella are in the truck. Yeah.
Yeah. Although it's weird that nobody, like everybody made it out. Everybody was just okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because plot.
These are your main characters.
That's why. Yeah.
So there's a lot of early 2000s shaky cam, like Jason Bourne style shaky cam, which was annoying in my opinion. I did not like that. Like especially when they go into the whatever, like the stationery store or whatever, and there's the little girl.
The convenience
like,
store, yeah.
Another
part that was super silly.
Like the camera just like, and you're like, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea.
And like, why was that girl dressed like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like, you have to imagine that's what she was dressed as when she got vampirized, right? Or is like the head vampire a fucking like you know a Democrat, and like he's like, oh, I'm gonna sweet, a little girl vampire, let me put her in fucking pigtails and a sundress, and I'm gonna fucking.
So I think the little that was Andy going, please edit this part out.
So heinous, I screamed. I let out a bellow.
You know what's funny? I'm glad that was said explicitly.
It sounded like one of the vampires.
In my head, that went over really well. I was like, I crushed it. Now I have to put a sensor over it, a beep.
But yeah, anytime you say something that Andy disagrees with, he's just gonna go vampire. Going,
and that will become our new censor noise.
So I think the little girl, I've always gone back and forth. Like, has she been following around the vampires? Is she one of them, or does she get turned?
I thought you were gonna say, I've always gone back and forth. Would I? Wouldn't I? And I was like, John, no.
Robbie.
So I think because she can speak English and doesn't speak English the way that Marlowe does, which, real quick, Marlowe speaks English kind of like the poppy at the bodega, like the Dominican dudes at the bodega, when he's talking to that girl. He's like, is it good? No good. Like, I can almost hear him. No, papi, no good. Sorry, papi. No, don't worry about it. That's it, papi. No go here. Okay? Keep going. So, because she can speak English and speak it well, I think that she was one of the kids in town and got turned. Still really fucking silly and an unnecessary scene. And I agree with you. The shaky cam in that scene is the worst of the whole movie. There's a lot more than I remembered there being, but the shaky cam works when it's in those wider shots, because it gives it gives it kind of that franticness and that kinetic kind of camera work. When you're in tight like that, really tight close-ups, it's awful. It's like
I
nausea
mean,
inducing.
that whole scene's kind of like early 2000s edgelord stuff. There's like, what's gonna make people go and it's a dead little girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
right.
man, a bunch of freaks are gonna beat their dick.
There he goes.
You just
Well, like,
you
the thing
know
is-
it's
the thing
true.
is
You know Jeff Epstein. You know Bill Clinton. Yeah, are just sitting there cranking their hogs to that shit.
Robbie. It's Jeffrey Epstein. Why are you so formal? Were you
know
on that
what?
list,
Hey, you
Robbie?
know what? I'm still grieving my friend's death.
Yikes. But yeah, that scene is just there to set up Carter's eventual demise, which fucking Carter. I love him as a character. The dude from the Muffin Monster Station.
I'm glad you said that, because one of my notes is just the Muffin Monster, and I was gonna ask, is there a Muffin Monster in this movie?
Muffin Monster.
That's what they call the big shredder.
Yeah.
He calls it the Muffin
Yeah, because
Monster.
it ripped
at
up
one
a
point.
woman's vagina.
I guess because they didn't have the licensing to call it Cookie Monster.
She's like,
Yeah, I would imagine.
But yeah, it's that.
she was like, she looked at it once. She was like, this will be interesting. It was not. Talk about roast beef. I've had pulled pork, but this is ridiculous.
Robbie. So wait, who's Carter?
Carter is the guy from the Muffin Monster Station. He's the one that the little girl jumps on, and then a
okay.
couple scenes later, he tells that story about how, like, you have to kill me.
Yes,
I
that was
cannot
good.
live I cannot live for all of eternity.
I wish
Like,
I saw them cut his head off.
The thing is, so I like that we build to that. I like that we get the first like head chop of of John Reese when he turns into a vampire. You always see the first chop. You see the first chop into the little girl, another Gino Acevedo effect where they had her up against the wall, they had her mime getting hit, and then they had the fucking like dummy neck so that they could get that slice.
The best.
Then we hear Carter get beheaded, and it finally leads to when that bitch fucking Billy.
That's the
and we
best one.
see like
That's
at
the
least the
best
second
one.
or third whack.
I was like, that's one of the best
fucking one.
beheadings I've seen in cinema. That shit was good.
Yeah. I've watched Mexican cartel videos. That was pretty fucking accurate. So I love that.
Tuesday night is ISIS Tuesday. Are you kidding me?
Yikes. So going back to Carter, all of the characters in this movie that have some sort of emotional arc are phenomenal, except for Stella and Eben, because that's a story beat that was forced into the movie. In the comic book, Stella and Eben are husband and wife. I don't know that they're estranged, but for the movie, they were like, we have to have this romantic element. We want this to be a love story with vampires, as opposed to vampires with a love story where they're trying to survive. And that's what makes it feel like
if they had something in between, the ending would have been great. And the ending is fine, but it's like unearned.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about this guy. In fact, I would argue that Eben is the least interesting person in this movie.
He's the worst character.
He is. Josh Hartnett rides the line of being like endlessly wooden and somewhat charming. The only scene where he is somewhat believable, and that's giving him some compliments there. I'm being nice about it. But the scene when they find Billy and he goes up to Billy and he's like, what the fuck? This was your family. You're supposed to do anything for them. Like, how could you do this? That's the most emotion we see out of him.
Was he the one who says the lines, why would someone rip the hell out of my helicopter?
No, Billy is the dude with the super white teeth at the beginning of the movie.
No, I'm talking about Eben.
No.
Was he the one who said that?
No, Eben, that's Wilson.
Because the guy who delivers that line has never acted in his life.
And he didn't after this.
Do you think that Eben's last name is Flo?
Nice. Eben's a fucking square. He gets mad at his grandma's weed. Yeah, but I give the director and the screenwriter credit. That's good story writing. That comes back. That's Chekhov's ganja.
Nice. I did like how they did the UV thing and it worked, and then they're like, hey, he's gonna cut the power, and then they cut the power, and then it never comes back. I was like, oh, they're gonna do something with that, and it never did.
Yeah,
they never did.
I love that he like. I imagine that the director had them cut the power to the house like before Josh Hartnett thought that they were going to. So that reaction seems somewhat genuine. He's like, oh fuck!
I think
we have to trick him into being a good actor.
Exactly.
Josh Hartnett also, I don't know if it's good, but it's like you can tell that he is overwhelmed in the situation where like the shit's going down, and then he goes to Ben Foster and he does that thing where he's like, oh, I'm really mad. He shakes his face. Like, I was like, okay,
yeah.
I guess someone would do that.
Yeah.
Just eat more fiber, Eben.
For the love of Christmas.
I love the interactions between the two of them because it's Eben trying to keep his cool, and then like he's completely out of his depth once he goes up against Ben Foster, because this isn't just like a drunk. This is a guy who has like feels like he's got nothing to lose. Like what are you gonna do? Cite me like you cited
I'm
Bo?
gonna be
like
eternal.
fuck off.
Yeah,
I have fucking vampires coming. Yeah,
They didn't pick me.
So the scenes where he's going up against Ben Foster, it's like you just see him being frustrated, and I like how we see the puzzle pieces starting to kind of come together when he starts realizing like, okay, someone's fucked with our communication, they've killed all our fucking sled dogs, so transportation there, they definitely fucked our transportation because now the helicopter's fucking gone. And he starts piecing everything together like, okay, this is fucking
this
bad.
guy just should like, I
up.
know everybody because this is a tiny town. And who the fuck is this guy? It must have been him. It had to have been.
Yeah. It's cool getting to see that, although Josh Hartnett is not the greatest actor. He's kind of like a Keanu Reeves, where like if you want someone to be the dumb stoner heartthrob, Josh Hartnett. I think just before this, he had done Halloween H2O. And that works.
It's funny you're saying that, though, because if this was made 10 years earlier, this absolutely would have been Keanu Reeves in this role.
That's true.
Yeah, 100%. Well, actually, funny little connection there. Keanu Reeves was in the Bram Stoker's Dracula, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and people gave him the same criticisms that they gave Josh Hartnett when he did this movie. And both guys were doing it with the same motivation. Keanu Reeves wanted to get into more dramatic roles. Josh Hartnett was trying to get into more dramatic roles too. And there was a lot going on, around that where people were like, this isn't fucking convincing. Like, no, this is not.
If only Josh Hartnett had a Matrix around the corner.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But yeah, I think you're right. He's the weakest point of the story emotionally. The only time that we get any good and relatable emotion out of him is when he's frustrated with Ben Foster, when he is mad and hurt,
whenever he has to kill his friends.
Yeah. That one look that he gives Stella when Stella we finally get some sort of reveal where it's like, oh, they're probably estranged because Stella wanted children and Eben didn't. He gives her that look like a husband who's like, really, we're gonna talk about this here, we're gonna talk about this, we're in a 10 by 10 square.
Is this the fucking time? Well, there's another point earlier in the movie where someone goes like, vampires don't exist. It's like, we've seen them.
Yeah. That's one of my questions as well. I mean,
yeah, I loved that because one of the things that annoys me is like in a zombie movie where they're like, what are those things? It's like, you're telling me that in this universe, no one has ever heard of or even seen a zombie movie or anything like that. They acknowledge it. They acknowledge Dracula at one point. Bo jokes around when they're talking about the UV light plan. He's like, just because it worked on Bela Lugosi doesn't mean it's going to work here. So like, I'm happy that they're acknowledging that they know what vampires are.
Vampires don't. No, Stella says vampires don't exist, Jake. Like, aren't we fucking past that, Stella?
Yeah.
Why don't you shut up?
Yeah.
Why don't you shut up?
We've
They're
seen
outside. We're hiding from them. Yeah. Fucking clown.
And the one guy who's like, maybe they're hopped up on PCP. You know,
they're eating people. They're eating them.
I love that theory. Some guy's got to throw the theory out there that it's drugs.
Always. And it's always PCP.
What do you think about the final fight? So like, Josh Hartnett is like, all right, I'm gonna even the playing field. He injects some blood from a vampire.
He goes, I can smell your blood.
Yeah.
You're
But then
menstruating, aren't you?
So he goes
You've
outside.
eaten a lot of iron recently.
He goes outside and he's like, I'm gonna pick a fight with these guys. And he does, and he proceeds to get his ass beat, right? And he gets his ass beat for like 5 minutes straight. And then out of nowhere, he punches right through the guy's head. That fight, it's just like, I'm losing. Oh shit, I won. Like what kind of fight is that?
Yeah.
That's a John Cena match.
It's the most anticlimactic.
And
fight
and
scene
all the other
ever.
vampires are just like, oh
It's-
shit, he won. All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Our bad.
During the fight, the vampire is like smashing his head against the car. He's like, a 1, a 2, a 3,
I love that Josh Hartnett comes out ready for the fight, though. Like he walks up to Marlowe and he just punches him in the nose like he's a fucking shark. And then like I said before, the rest of the vampires just stand around watching them breakdance fight. Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's almost as if they didn't know how to end the movie, and they had it right there. They could have just let the town burn, give us a movie where the humans lose.
Yeah. Well, she goes, what did you do? He goes, what I had to. It's like, no, you didn't. You could have waited an hour.
Did you? I've heard that fucking vampire hepatitis sucks, dude. Did you really have to do this? Just ask Kid Rock.
Yeah, the sun was literally about to rise.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, your ex-wife has to die. Every divorced man's dream is their ex-wife dying. But this man, fucking Morbius over here, gonna turn himself into a vampire so he can save his bitch ex-wife who's complaining that it's cold when she lives in Alaska.
It's true.
You know what? It's in defense of Stella.
She is dumb.
Melissa George. She's written dumb. And it's
well, if you're a fictional character and you're written dumb, you are dumb. Yes.
The thing is, she gets stuck with a lot of like stupid dialogue. She gets stuck with the dialogue where like it was definitely a producer who's sitting in the room watching the screening, like the test screening, and they go, "So are you telling me that she missed her plane? Because I don't know that the audience would get that. Have her say, I can't believe I'm gonna be stuck here. Do you have her oh, what the fuck is the other line that she says? She says something else towards the end of the movie. I think maybe the comment about vampires
don't
not
exist,
being real.
Jake.
And it's like, no,
well,
they are. They are.
Well,
really
I don't
fucking
know
real.
if you saw, but someone just got fucking eaten.
Yeah.
So why don't we talk about this later?
Also,
Whether or not he's a vampire is kind of semantics at this point.
Is this the movie that is famous for Marlon Brando going, Stella? Is that this one?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, Marlowe's name was a tribute to Marlon Brando and Mr. Barlow from Salem's Lot. And then he was off screen. They couldn't have him on because he was too bulbous. Then,
yeah.
You know,
Was
it was the
he still
bloke
alive?
from the corpse from
No.
no, it wasn't.
A streetcar named Alaska.
Nice. 30 days of has been.
30 days on the island of Dr. Moreau.
Nice.
The thing is, going into the movie this time, like I said, I've seen it roundabout like almost 10 times now. And it's not only is it paced a lot slower than I remember, I feel like every time I've watched it, I've had that thought, like this movie's a lot
It is.
slower
I have
than
to
I
note
remember
that
it being.
It took 17 minutes for this movie to get interesting.
I had a blast with this movie, if I'm being honest.
But right, it is fun. The thing is, like, the slower parts are what tell us, like, okay, they're sitting here and we're hoping that they can make it through. We do, although Stella gets stuck with stupid
all the slow
lines,
parts are exposition laden.
You
like at
want
one point,
people to-
Eben fucking is like, if she runs, they'll catch her. If she stays, she burns. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
We're
I see.
watching the movie, Eben.
That's what I'm saying.
With a B, by the way.
That's the fucking
Yeah.
producer. That's the producer going,
Yeah,
I don't
just
know if they're going to
underestimating the
understand
audience.
that, guys.
Will
Can we
the
put a
audience
piece of
know that a
dialogue?
woman under a
Exactly.
burning building will fucking die? I just can't. I don't know.
Yeah.
So how does the fire work? If the fire's burning on the building and she's in the building, but she's not made of building, does that still count? Is she gonna burn at the same rate as the rest of the building? So it's way slower than I remember it being. There's a lot more shaky cam, but I really love the movie because of those exciting parts. The stunt where the guy flies through the window, the big overhead shot of the town, the cinematography as well. The cinematographer was like handpicked by David Slade. He was like, "This is who I'm having." Yo Williams.
Hold on, real quick. We need to celebrate. I think on a movie podcast on episode 20 something, this is the first time we mentioned cinematography. we even gave the cinematographer's name.
Holy shit! Who's we? It was John.
You're welcome,
John. You want to hear something sad? I didn't give out my actual last name until episode 20 something, until like 2 episodes ago. And then I was like, "Oh shit, that's really bad for my brand."
It's all about anonymity, baby.
Welcome to the QAnon podcast.
This is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time on any recorded medium that I've been introduced as John Hernandez, not John Von Frankenstein.
Do you want me to edit that? I'll make it John Von
shivering in my
Frankenstein.
boots. No, I honestly don't care. It's fine.
Is your middle name
But-
Von Frankenstein?
It is.
Oh my God,
That's fucking
incredible.
sick.
So Yo Williams was handpicked by David Slade to do the cinematography in the movie, and he wanted to mimic the comic book as best as he could. And the one shot, the two shots,
You only got one
the overhead shot, and and the shot where they're walking through the whiteout, where it's like super stark white, and they're all silhouetted in black. That looks like it's straight out of the comic book. And they also constructed that whole fucking town inside of like an old abandoned equestrian. It looked like a fucking Air Force hangar, but it's where they kept horses and shit. So what they wound up doing is digging the ground in that hangar like an extra 10 or 15 feet deep, so that this way they could go ahead and control the lighting. So a lot of the shots where they're in the town, that main drag, that's all on that set. And then they went ahead and started building shit out. Like there were certain buildings from the comic book that David Slade was like, I want that chapel. I want that church. I want Eco's Diner to show up, because that's in the comic book as well. And I think that they did a good job translating from the page to the screen, because it was literally supposed to be a movie. He went, "Oh, I can't make this into a movie. I'm making it a comic book." So their storyboards are right fucking there when they went back to making the movie. And another thing, since you guys do music on this podcast as well, the score by Brian Ritzel is phenomenal. There's a scene, I think, during the town attack, that overhead shot, where it's just like a blaring horn, and it's like, it sounds like they mic'd up the horn and then played it through a distorted guitar amp. It's like so abrasive, and it's just ratcheting up that tension along with everything that's going on.
That I have to agree with, because
Awesome.
one of my notes is awesome music at the beginning, because it is super suspenseful music at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Towards the end, when Eben has his big like fucking superhero walkout moment, that scene is so dumb. That whole ending is dumb. That's my least favorite part of the movie. But they managed to get you like pumped up when he comes out with the fucking hood, and he's like, "Yeah, fucking vampire hood, bud." Because of the drums.
Yeah.
It's like this
that.
tribal beat and shit.
For that death is
that's
gruesome.
sick.
That death
Awesome.
seems brutal.
Which one?
No.
punch through
When
the head?
Evan is fucking roasting in the sun.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yes,
That one.
getting punched through the skull
Yeah.
also seems brutal, but like his death,
Yes, his
you
death,
literally
yeah.
watch every bit of skin like flake off of him, like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. As much as I dislike the ending, the choices that he makes to get there, I do like that it's
Right,
Stella
like
and
the
him, you know,
the
at the
sentiment
end,
of
watching the
like, hey, we're gonna
sunrise.
watch the sunrise together is good. It's just if you had sprinkled little bits of their chemistry throughout, but there's
Yeah.
none, and it's like
Yeah.
front loaded a little bit, like, oh, maybe we could talk. It's like, Jimmy's gonna
Yep.
pick you up or whatever the fuck he says, and then at the end, it's just like, oh, I'm sorry. and then I'm dead, and that's it. It's like what? What?
Yeah.
I don't care. I
Yeah.
don't fucking care.
Yeah.
I like how you said you were happy that it was Stella and Eben at the end, as though like right before that scene, like some other guy was gonna walk into frame and she was gonna be like, "Ooh, I've actually been seeing Todd for the last 6 months."
How did he survive? How did Todd survive?
It was Isaac, the guy with Alzheimer's.
It's the grandpa. It's the grandpa with Alzheimer's. I had a.
It's great. It's like we're on our first date every day.
I thought it would be funny if like later, like they're cornered by a bunch of vampires, and then like one of them gets blasted away, and they're like, oh, "It's Old Man Jenkins," and it's him. He's like, "I'm back, baby. You thought I was dementia ridden? Nah, I'm a badass grandpa."
But yeah, it's like you said, the sentiment is there, but had they sprinkled anything to convince us that they were actually a couple once, it would have worked way better. Instead, we get Isaac, who's fucking heartbreaking. Talk about putting a bomb under a table. You're just waiting for him to get fucking munched on. And it's like so sad seeing him walk out.
I'm gonna be honest real quick. If that's my dad at that age, hey dad, I love you.
Later, brother.
Like at that point, if you have dementia like that, like I'm sorry, it's survival of the fittest. At that age, either that or I'm smothering him in his sleep.
Right.
Yeah. So you would have been right there making that decision with Doug, where he was like, just let them fucking go.
If someone on their own wants to be like, I'm gonna get 8. All right, bye. Fucking bye. Be bat food. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, the guy, the son, like ran out and he was like yelling, "Dad, Dad!"
Yeah.
Like, what? Come on, man.
He deserved it.
Yeah. I think that's the one instance where the character of Doug mentions to them, like, just let them fucking go. Like, it's fine. I think that's the one instance in this movie where we get the zombie movie trope of like, we were the monsters all along. Thankfully, this movie doesn't lean into that all that much, because that's like, even back in 2007, it'd been fucking done to death.
I mean, well, I would like to see a sequel where like everybody comes back to the town. They're like, what the hell happened? And then like Stella explains like, oh man, there were a bunch of wampirs. And they're like, Stella, what the fuck are you talking about?
It would be called 30 Days of Night Day Shift. What the fuck did you guys do? No one replenished the fucking toilet paper. Oh, really? You leave the toilet paper on top of the empty roll? Fuck you.
But who's left at the end? It's just like Stella, the little girl, and the older lady.
Stella, the little girl, the older lady, and the girl from the pipeline, and Jake.
Oh yeah,
That's
Jake.
it.
That's right.
So it's Jake's job to replenish the earth.
Boy.
The earth, no, that one town in Alaska.
People are coming back. Like, just give it a minute.
Jake convinces them that no, guys, this has happened to the whole entire world.
We have to do this.
Have to
It's like,
replenish.
Jake, she's about 12. We have to. Jake. It's
Jake, no. So I mean, what did you guys think overall? Like I said, I felt like I watched this on autopilot, so I had to be way more critical this time. But what did you guys think overall of the movie?
I had a blast with it. I had so much fun. I thought this was a really, like, I wouldn't call this scary. I don't want to be mean. I also wouldn't call this necessarily a great movie. But I had a fucking blast with it. It was so much fun. And, you know, it was definitely fun to watch. Definitely, I would watch it again.
Yeah.
I thought, I just had a lot of fun watching it.
I would say it's good and great at times, but like, I don't know, like I said, the first like 15 minutes, I'm like, what's gonna happen? Like, is something gonna happen? And then when something happens, it was like, oh, this is good. Like, I'm glad glad it paid off. Like, the wait pays off. If I were to change anything, it would be the way he beats the vampire at the end. Or if he just doesn't.
No, that's fucking sick. He punches him through the skull.
It's stupid. He's getting his ass beat, and then he just wins. He's like, oh, punch.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I found the weak spot.
The fight as a whole is a down.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But he punches the dude through the skull.
Yeah,
that's
he
fun.
found the weak spot. In his
the
mouth.
skull. Turns out if I break his fucking skull, he'll die.
really hard in the face, I'll win.
Turns out, when you become a vampire, you redevelop your soft spot, so he just hit it in reverse.
He's a fucking baby fly. Goo goo gaga kush.
But he's a vampire, so he's like goo goo gaga. Well, you guys have any questions?
I do.
Yes, I do also.
Is there craft services?
Oh
anywhere?
shit! Oh
Can I get,
shit!
like a sandwich?
He thinks we're in person. John,
We're not?
just go to your kitchen.
Oh,
just
what
go
is
to your
this?
kitchen and get something to eat.
Is
I'm so sorry, guys.
Oh,
I
no.
have Alzheimer's. Help me. I thought we were in the room together.
All right, I'm up first. I forgot this is an audio medium, and I gave everyone a heads up or a thumbs up. So I've been narrowed down to 2 questions here. So my first question is: no one else can live there, or no one else
wants
to live there?
Hey, Stella, why are you driving so fast? It's like 8 feet of snow on the ground.
That's Alaska, baby. We talk about that's New York. That's Alaska.
Nah, that's Alaska.
I went through the snow like she was on the southern state, late for work.
Can't do that.
A lot of the movie was shot in New Zealand, but do New Zealanders really pass for Alaskan natives that much?
I couldn't tell a difference.
Yeah, what producer had to utter that sentence?
Was that dude under the house for a full week?
Yeah, he was. John Reese was just under there like frostbite.
Yeah, I was gonna say follow up. His dick is gone.
It's in his body.
Like that thing. Like no. It's frozen
Oh
off.
my
Like, I'm talking
gosh.
about like he was laying stomach down because that's the last position we saw him in too. So imagine he laid stomach down for a week, 7 full days. Let his dick not only freeze, get frostbite, fall off, while he also vampirized.
Vampirized.
Yes, vampirized. Which I'm gonna say, if you're a vampire and you can't fuck, what's the point?
Yeah.
That's a lot of questions in one.
So, how does the hunger of a vampire work in this universe? Because, like, they seem to eat like most of the town in the first day. Wouldn't they like savor? Wouldn't they like tie a couple up? Be like, you're tomorrow's lunch, brother.
Do you think maybe after taking care of the dogs, they were Duran Duran and hungry like the wolf?
He's got a point.
The disapproving look.
So I just want to know if Jeff Dunham gave them permission to use Jose Jalapeno on a stick as the inspiration for Gus's character after he gets his head on the fucking stick.
With that awful like facial hair. I was like, you know what? I'm glad Gus is dead. He was a pedophile.
So yeah, this question was just directed at Stella. You're stealing that person's coat, Stella? Really? What if they came back? What if that's one of the people that left before all of this happened? They come back and
Where's
now
my
they don't have a
favorite
fucking
coat?
coat.
My favorite coat. My whole family's
I don't
dead.
care about your vampire problem, Stella.
Where's my fucking coat?
They go to meet one day and Stella doesn't show up and she goes, Stella!
I got one more. Set me up, Robbie. So towards the end of the month, you get the little girl covered in blood that Stella goes out to save. Where was she the whole time?
The vampires kept her captive, just like the first woman who was
Used her
walking
as
around,
bait?
and they were, yeah.
Used her as bait. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Sometimes these questions get answered.
Yep. John, you got any more?
No. I'm ready for trivia if you guys are.
I'm ready for some trivia. All right, let's
Trivia?
find out who's going to go first in trivia.
No. Are you fucking kidding me, brother?
Who's up first? Oh! All right, it's John. John's up first.
Oh, shit. All right. So we brought this up before, so I'll pose this question to you folks.
That's how trivia works.
The production found itself in a bit of hot water when the casting was announced. What was the source of the controversy? Was it A, Mark Boone Jr. was taken in on gun charges? B, they cast Josh Hartnett as an Inuit man? C, Danny Houston was just fought a murder charge in Louisiana? Or D, Kevin Spacey?
I'll go. This is Rob. I'm gonna say that Josh Hartnett was cast as an Inuit man.
Yes, you are correct,
Wow.
Robbie. And now you win craft services. So yeah, in the original comic book, Eben is Inuk. He's of an Inuk background. The Inuk are of the Inuit people.
I would imagine
So
that's
they
why
even went as far.
Eben is his name.
No, because they made him
Exactly.
Norse for the movie.
Yeah, his last name in the movie is Olison, which like always sounded weird, but it's because in
He's the son of Oli.
original comic book, his last name is, or his full name is actually Eben Oleman. So had they kept the original, like some people were confused at the time. I was looking for articles that came out when the
Some
movie
people
came
were
out.
confused.
Yeah, people were confused as
Wait
to why
a
they
second. There used to be an M there.
But yeah, people felt like it was the studio going, we're not sure if the movie's gonna sell, with someone
Not white.
as the lead, having having a native person as the lead, and then they were like, oh yeah, let's cast Josh Hartnett, and then they wound up with the same problem because then people were like, oh, Josh Hartnett's not convincing in a fucking serious scary movie.
Yeah. Well, that's classic Hollywood.
Let's cast a handsome man. Surprised I haven't gotten a call yet.
Here come the waterworks.
All right, the wheel said John again. So John, ask your next question.
Wheels
All
sucks.
right, no problem.
Fuck you, wheel.
What is the name of the technique used for some of the exterior shots?
Oh,
Is it
Kegels. Oh, no.
Downward dog. Is it A, wide angle photography, B, long exposure, C, Mantiteo, or D, day for night?
Bob, weren't you arrested for long exposure? I'm gonna go.
Yeah, you got that long part right, baby.
Nice. What was the first one?
Wide angle
I'm
photography.
going with that one.
Wrong.
Ah, fuck.
Was it long
they used-
exposure?
No. And it wasn't Mantiteo either. I just put Mantiteo in there because I just watched that documentary about how he got catfished. It was day for night. Basically, this technique lets them get better exposure. They shoot everything in the daytime. So all of the nighttime shots where they were like during the chase scene where Eben and Stella are running away from the vampire and he's on the roof. Some of the night shots with Ben Foster when he's running around, those were all shot during the daytime.
Well, there's some.
This allows them to
parts
get the right.
where it looks like it's straight up daytime. Like when he finds the dude under the house and he's like, "I'm a vampire now." That straight up looks like it's daytime.
Oh, by the way.
So that would have been shot in that equestrian center that I was talking about before. That's where they've got these huge soft boxes and the lighting rigs and stuff like that. But when you're doing
Wait, the
exterior shots
equestrian
like the one
center.
for the, yeah,
By the way, I am a vampire, and I was trampled by horses.
Nice.
I have been training in dressage. Oh, watch my horse. dance. Sorry.
But yeah, so instead of them having to like set up these huge rigs to light the outdoors, they're just like, we have the sun. So what they end up doing is just shooting everything at the daytime so that they can get the right exposure and control the shadows a little bit more, and then they just color grade everything super blue in post. It kind of holds up pretty well.
Does.
It's not the best day for night, but it still holds up.
Yeah.
Day for night. Whoa.
Nice.
I'm gonna spin the wheel and see who's asking next.
Will it be Rob or Andy, or will it be me again?
Nice. Oh, it's me.
Got scared.
I guess I'll never fucking answer a question.
You're not. What's the slogan for Borrow Alaska? It's on the billboard. Top of the world. Can I borrow a feeling? So iced to meet you. Or, wow, you drove to Alaska, huh?
so iced.
Top of the world.
It's great.
It is top of the world. It is absolutely top of the world.
So iced to meet you is fucking great.
I don't have a really good story like John does, so I'm just gonna hit the button again.
I'm just trying to drop some knowledge on you.
There's a K. It's a canowledge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I think it's gonna be me again. I'm seeing a pattern. It's me again. It's me again. This is amazing. Wow. I hope it goes to John. What city was the airport in that Stella was trying to get to? Was it Juneau, Nome, Anchorage, or Fairbanks?
Anchorage.
It is Anchorage, yeah. Okay.
Wow!
He's hyped. John is a very hyped man. But it's pronounced Anchorage. Is it CH? Oh, I think.
Anchorage.
Yep, this pattern's
Italian.
continuing. Yo, Andy.
Yeah.
Ask your first question.
Wow. Okay, what comic book company printed the comic that this movie is based on? Is it Marvel, IDW, DC, or Image?
Say them again.
Marvel, IDW, DC, or Image?
IDW is 100% an episode of an Arthur episode. Is the name of an Arthur episode. like a recent one. Yeah, like where his sister is into tech. But that's not my guess.
Shit. I thought it was Dark Horse Comics, but I think that might be the production company.
Is that a George Harrison comic book
Image?
company?
No, it is. Well, Robbie, would you like to?
Yeah, fuck you, asshole.
Okay.
Read them after me again.
Here I go for the third fucking time.
Hey, I had jokes to make, Andy. Jokes to make.
All right, Marvel, IDW, DC, or Image? John just guessed.
Is it IDW?
Yes, it is.
Is it funny that I knew it was IDW the whole time and I just wanted to waste time?
Yes.
I'm hitting the button. Look at that. It's clicking and clacking. Oh, it's me again, I think. It is me again. Okay.
Robbie.
As many as what? 2 things does Eben want to bring in his truck? So there are 2 items he says he wants to bring as many as possible in his truck. Are they bear traps and flares, gas cans and grenades, booze and titty mags, or flashlights and upskirt pictures of newly elected governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin?
Christ.
What's the first 2?
Bear traps and flares, gas cans and grenades.
Let me go with gas cans and grenades.
No, that is incorrect.
Fuck.
The bear traps and the... What was it? Bear traps and flares?
Yeah, that's the first option.
Yeah.
Yes, it is bear traps and flares. So you guys didn't think it was flashlights and upskirt pictures of newly elected governor of Alaska, Sarah Palin?
He's saying it again.
No, we didn't. We didn't think that it was upskirt. I can't remember. I would recite the whole thing, but I can't.
She was the reason I voted McCain in 08. I just wanted to look at that every now and then. No, that's okay to say. She's a Republican. John, he's never going to ask a question. John, let me know when you're up to your... Is this your last question?
Yeah, that's my last one.
Okay, so
Yeah, because I fucking buried the lead before, and I mentioned something about them filming in New Zealand. Just for yucks, I was going to ask where they filmed all the exterior shots. Was it going to be Georgia, Barrow, Alaska, New Zealand, or Hoboken, New Jersey? So instead of asking you that question...
It's a fucking Kevin Smith movie.
Instead of asking you that question, I'll ask you this one. After watching The Sunset with Evan, Billy changes the sign that reads how many residents live in Barrow. What were the numbers before and after Billy changed the sign? Was it A, 563 before, 152 after? B, 869 before, 126 after? C, 564 before, 151 after? Or D, 420 blaze it, 69 nice?
So either way, a shit ton of people fucking died in this.
Yeah.
This is one of the few movies that gives you the fucking death toll on the fucking movie.
I'm gonna go.
Jesus.
I'm gonna go with C.
C, 564 before, 151 after is incorrect.
I'm gonna say B.
B, 869 before, 126 after is also incorrect.
I'm gonna say A.
You just said A.
A,
Oh wait, no, you didn't.
563 before, 152 after is also incorrect. It was 420 blaze it, 69 nice.
Wait, really?
No, Rob, you were right.
Which one?
563 before,
Oh, okay. So no, I
after.
wasn't right. All right, so I'll make sure this doesn't land on John. But Andy, how many more do you have?
2.
All right, so let me hit the button here. I have one more, but I hit the button anyway. It's like the old. No. Just keep hitting the button. No. Oh, John, make up a question. John, make up a question.
Oh, God.
John, make up a question. No, I'm clicking.
Okay.
I
I'm so
jest.
sorry.
I jest and I bust.
Oh my god.
All right, it looks like it's gonna be me, Andy. I'm so sorry. The wheel does not like you, and I don't
Right.
blame it.
Yep.
But what?
And just the cheers after that.
I'm gonna keep this around just to applause when I make a joke. What street does Bo, that's the long-haired guy, tell Eben to run to? Is it Rogers Ave, McGraw Lane, Parton Boulevard, or Nelson Road?
Rogers.
It is Rogers. Yeah, it is Rogers. Did you guys see the theme I went with on the answers there?
It's country singers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say Nelson, and then John said Rogers, and I was like, yeah, Rogers.
Why would you admit that? You said it close enough where I wouldn't have noticed.
Why would
Why
I
would you
admit
keep
that?
yourself up there?
Because what do I have to lose in this?
That's why they call him Honest Abe.
Dignity.
No one has ever used that nickname before.
Not once. Throughout American
Not
history.
even once.
Prince of this movie.
Oh, I clicked the button. We're seeing who's up next, and it is you because you're the only one with questions left, and it totally didn't land on me.
Prints of this movie were shipped to some theaters with what fake name? Is it?
Like a prince? Like it has like a crown on it and shit?
You tell me, Robbie. You tell me. You think it's a prince like with a crown and shit, or do you think it's maybe like a film reel?
Or it's like a prince with like a purple guitar?
Shit.
Could you fucking clarify?
Vampire rain, vampire rain.
Blah.
Nice. All right. Prints of this movie were shipped to some theaters with a fake name. That name being A, Snowy Teeth, B, Cold Death, C, Frozen Blood, or D, Red Impression.
Frozen blood.
Wrong.
What was it? Fluffy teeth?
Snowy Teeth.
Fluffy
It is
teeth.
not Snowy Teeth. The correct answer is Red Impression.
Well, I misread the impression that I was going to get that right.
Nice.
All right, I got one more question.
Kazowie.
In reality, the town of Barrow actually sees how many days of night? Is it 12, 34, 67, or 88?
67.
Correct.
Swinging low.
Can you imagine just like 30 days of night is rough, but like 67 days, you're just like, I don't feel
There's
good.
a TikTok account that I'm
Your internal
familiar
clock
with
is
that She lives in like the North Pole up there, and she's like, and welcome to my 30 days of night.
I mean, like, if the film crew is anything to go by, they were doing all night shoots for something like 18 or 19 days. And they got like pictures of them before they started doing all the night shoots and pictures of them after. So if 19 days does that to you and you look all fucking grizzled and you're drinking like 6 cups of coffee.
They became vampires.
Yes, exactly. They got Wimpardium ideals. The medical term that's clinical vampirism.
Oh shit, not only am I a vampire, but I'm also floating. Get me down, man.
You guys trying to get into...
Get me down, Scoob.
What? You guys trying to get into these songs?
Oh yeah,
No.
that's right. Our special guest, John, also has a song for us.
Oh yeah, baby boy.
Oh shit, we're not flipping a pick. We're also gonna spin the wheel,
Here we go with this
which seems to
fucking
love
wheel.
John. Hey, fuck you!
No, fuck!
Spin
Go
that
wheel.
No,
wheel.
okay.
Spin that wheel.
Without the wheel, where would we be in society?
Where do we
man.
go from here? Now that we got rid of the wheelie thing.
I spun it and it's landing on me, so I'm gonna go first.
Nice.
It is nice. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Robert says thank you. Get out of here, Dad. All right, so my song is called "Just You Wait," and obviously it's based on the what was the dude's name in the cell at the beginning?
The stranger.
The stranger. He's like, well, we all have a face,
Nice.
right? You know, I made a joke real quick. We have a text thread going. I made a joke in it. No one reacted. I don't want to know, do you guys not get it or is it not funny? When I said my song is a humble pie parody called 30 Days of the Night.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay, so it's not funny.
Yeah, you
Okay.
get it.
All right, I'm just going to play my song. Bye, everybody.
I can smell your blood. You're gonna lose your head if you can't destroy
So that was my song, Just You Wait. Obviously, the title is from Prisoner Boy, The Stranger. Going, just you wait. There's gold up in their hills. We're going to find them. Just you wait.
I like that.
Thank you.
I don't know if you saw my face, just for the audience, those listening. As soon as I heard John Popper come in from the band Blues Travelers on the harmonica, I was astonished. My jaw hit the desk. That was cool.
Thank you. You know what happened?
Like
I wrote it. I was done with this song a couple days earlier before we were recording this. And then I listened to it and I was like, I don't love it. So I went back and I totally reworked the vocals totally. Redid the chorus entirely. And that part there, I just hated every bridge I came up with. And I didn't want to do a guitar solo because I was already doing the octave chords on the guitar, whatever they're called. And I was like, solo is going to sound like just overkill. So I was like, well, just fucking throw a harmonica on there. I have the fucking, why not? So that's what I did.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really my song. There's not much to say about it other than it's from the perspective of everyone. I kind of throw everyone's perspective from that into the song, talking about, they're ripping their head off, because he does say at one point, what was his name? Marlowe, yeah. He says rip off their heads, don't turn them into vampires, which is very weird. But in a way, it's kind of an admirable thing in a vampire movie where it's like, no, we don't want more of us.
Yeah.
Like, no new friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Hashtag no new friends.
That was cool enough to chill with us.
Which is part of the whole problem. He's like, I've got all yous that I got to worry about
Yeah.
feeding. I don't want another, hanger on.
And he
Yeah,
even
I got
says,
this
like,
fucking Reddit queen over here, so.
he was like, we can't let, word can't get out that we're real and we're not just
Yes. Yeah.
creatures of myth. And which is interesting, because then it shows why doesn't he want that? Is he scared of people? Like a lot of
Is
people.
it because we're the monsters all along?
Oh.
All right. Well, I liked it. It was very good. Who's next?
Let's find out when I spin this wheel. The wheel.
Spin that wheel.
Love it.
Spin that wheel.
Yeah.
Andy, spin that
Here we go.
wheel. Spin that
That's
wheel.
right.
I'd like to imagine that when Andy goes to anything with a chant, instead of chanting along,
I go
he's
in
the
between.
hype
Yeah, I
man.
go in between.
Yeah.
It's John. It's John's turn.
Oh. All right. This wheel hates Andy.
Yes, it does.
It does.
All right. So my song is called Renfield. I Gotta Know. As I mentioned before, the Renfield trope is one of my favorites in horror. And the first verse of this song is kind of told from our point of view, seeing everything that's going on. We warn of the stranger who's creeping and crawling, the Renfield who's doing just what he's told. And then the second verse is told from Eben's perspective, because Eben's whole fight with Billy when he finds out what he's done to his family, murdering his wife and kids, trying to spare them. And Eben's like, no, you're supposed to protect them no matter what. And, his eventual demise. I loved that. I was going to start this out with a joke about how my song was called Eleanor Rigby and how the chorus goes, look at all the vampy people. But I forgot. So yeah, that's my song. Hope you guys like it. I'll tell you a little bit more of the technical stuff once it's done.
What's the name one more time?
Renfield, I Gotta Know.
You can feel it. That cold ain't the weather. That's death approaching.
that's in our rise.
I gotta know, will you help me fight to survive these 30 days of night? I gotta know, will you keep me warm as we fight off this vampiric swarm? I gotta know if there's a god as the night stack up against our odds. I gotta know, will I die or will I survive? Survive these 30 days of night.
You're a dead man.
I swore to all these citizens, I guard them as they sleep. Demonic shadows howl at night and slaughter them like sheep. My life I give up to protect my love and family. The sun will bring about our end, please watch it rise with me.
Bar the doors, try to hide. A stake right through the heart. I'm human, but I bite.
I gotta know, will you help me fight to survive these 30 days of night? I gotta know, will you keep me warm as we fight off this vampiric swarm? I gotta know if there's a god as the night stack up against our odds. I gotta know, will I die or will I survive? Survive these 30 days of night. I gotta know, will you help me fight to survive these 30 days of night? I gotta know, will you keep me warm as we fight off this vampiric swarm? I gotta know if there's a god as the night stack up against our odds. I gotta know, will I die or will I survive? Survive these 30 days of night.
Hot damn!
Oh, I didn't need my face or anything. That's cool.
Hot damn!
The melted
good.
Thank you,
remnants of my
thank you.
face are on the floor. That's cool.
I love the opening. I love it. I fucking love it. Incredible.
I was so like concerned that it sounded too thin because for the vocals in that part, the choruses, all the harmony stuff and the gang vocals, I doubled everything. And I was like, this sounds way too thin because like this whole song is way out of my vocal range. And I ended up going back in and singing that harmonized double up higher. And I was like, okay, this sounds a little bit better now.
Nice. Nice.
No, the whole
Thank
thing
you.
sounded fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I
Thank
know
you. Thank you.
John has given me tips on how to like mix my shit because like my shit is always peaking. Because I don't know, I just have everything cranked, and I still have that problem. I actually need to talk to you a little more. I have my shit like with the gain. You told me like just put the gain down to like -5, and that's what I've been doing. And it's still like sometimes it peaks. Should I go even lower, like -10?
It all depends. It's a case by case
Okay.
thing, and it's all just trial and error.
Yeah.
Like for me,
That's a
Little
new Law and
background on
Order
the
show,
song.
Trial and Error.
Nice.
So a little background. I've had this riff laying around since high school. That chorus riff, and I never knew what to do with it after the good. I changed the chugging part to make it sound a little bit thrashier, and the part that came after that used to be what actually wound up becoming the intro to the Scrap Metal podcast. So the intro that we have for that is what
Okay.
came after that main riff. So when I went into this is actually the first time. I don't write lyrics often. I feel like I'm terrible at writing lyrics, and I don't usually sing on my stuff at all. But
May I interject real quick? I've always
Sure.
found that, especially through this podcast, lyrics are the least important part of every song.
and
no,
that's what I wound up doing first, because
As-
I was like, because I've had this riff laying around for so long, I was like, oh, I know how this is gonna lay over the chorus.
Right.
So I wrote the chorus first because I wanted that call and response. I ended up tracking it where I got to know whatever the sentence is in between was left blank, and then I'd sing the last part. So like I got to know will you help me fight was another take, and then to survive these 30 days of night, so I wouldn't sound like I was just running out of breath every line.
Right.
And then I went on and I wrote the whole rest of the song. Like, I knew that my favorite element of this movie is Ben Foster and his, the stranger and his portrayal of a Renfield character. And then I wanted to hit home that whole point of Evan's perspective. See, I fucking did it too.
It's
Evan's perspective.
It's just hard when you've heard the name Evan, because like we've all heard the name Evan. How many of you are outside of this movie? Honestly, have any of you heard the name Eben with a B before?
No.
No.
Exactly.
But,
like, it's just, fuck you, movie and comic book.
But yeah, so I wanted to be able to hit home that point of, his feelings towards, like, I have been tasked with taking care of these people. I'm going to finish that job no matter what. I'm family should be the most important thing. You should sacrifice your life in order to protect them. And then, the sun will bring about our end. Please watch it rise with me, was, between him and Stella. And then the little like spoken word bits that were the bridge leading into
that
each
was
chorus.
so cool. I thought those were so well done.
Thank you.
Because those are hard to do and sound good. You did that and it sounded good. A lot of times whenever I try that, it always sounds tacky. Because here's the thing, you have a much better voice for it than I do.
I'll do all the rest of yours from now.
Because I have this high-pitched fucking like nasally annoying ass voice that like when I'm talking, I'm like, hey, get out of here.
Yeah.
But you do it, it's like, wow, that dude sounds cool.
I also have
Thank
a touch of the nasal, and John's got a nice smooth. You got a nice smooth voice, and it works. It's good. I like it.
Thank you.
It was good stuff.
I took lessons from Ricardo Montalban.
Did you?
Yes. So but yeah, I mean,
gotta say.
that was the theme going behind it. That was my thinking with the song itself. I wanted it to have like a really thrashy feel. I love, bands like Overkill and Testament and Shadows Fall and Lamb of God, and I wanted to try and have those kinds of elements within the song, especially the guitar solo. I did the old Randy Rhoads trick and just double track the guitar solo too, because I'm not like a shredder, but I wanted to have that harmony there. Andy, you and I have had tons and tons of conversations about like not starting on the root note, like starting on, I actually start the solo on the 7th. So
Fancy.
all little things like that I got to experiment thanks to you guys.
Heck yeah, brother.
And we've had this conversation before. It's Lamb of God.
I'm sorry, Lambasol of God.
Lamb.
Well, it's my turn.
Gotta spin the wheel. Hold on.
Rob's gonna play his song again.
We're fresh. We're fresh out of time. Just kick me off.
Hold on. Okay, it's Andy.
Thank
It's
the
Andy.
Lord. So my song is called what is it called? The Only Ones Who Can. That's what it's called. I always fucking forget my
I like that.
because they say that in that part is like, why do we live here? Because we're the only ones who can. It's like, all right,
Right,
I'll let
fuck
you have it. You've been through a lot. So
That's what people in Boston
yeah,
say.
we're the only ones who can. Fucking
Why do we live so close to Fenway Park?
we're the only ones who can, brother.
I have to slowly
Due to
drift from a New
proximity.
York to Boston accent when I do my Boston. It always starts as oh, that guy's from New York. And then it's like, oh no, okay. He's working towards it. But he's working towards it in the way like Ben Affleck works towards any other accent. What's it called again?
The Only Ones Who Can. And it goes like this. I'm a small town sheriff up here in Alaska. Everybody is my friend. You can go ahead and ask them. Everybody is leaving to get away from the darkness. One thing's keeping us here. Who the hell is a stranger? 30 days of night. How can we survive? did my best Neil Young impression on the guitar at the end there. Like you heard that I missed. He's like beep, beep. And like I was like I'm gonna redo that, but then I was like, that's okay.
When you said that, I was confused. I was like, no, you played more than one note.
That was really good. I like that.
Thank you.
I liked the vocal melody. That 30 Days of Night.
Oh, thank you.
You said Wampire.
Yes, I did. Getting sucked out.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
Getting sucked. Both Rob and I.
I was not expecting it.
Getting sucked by a vampire. We just looked at each other.
Yeah. I was like,
that was great.
I figured like my last 5 or 6 songs have all been on like the heavier side, and I knew like John is the host of the Scrap Metal podcast, so I was like, all right, he's gonna bring some heavy stuff. So let me play like chords, like instead of just like riffs. So I don't know. I was also like,
what a novel concept.
Yeah. Like I've been pretty riff heavy the last few songs, but the that was actually the music I wrote for the Thing song, but I couldn't like
nice.
it just didn't match the vibe of the Thing. And I mean, my song doesn't really match the vibe of this movie either, but I feel like it worked. Like
I feel like this is something Bo would listen to in his truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I see the like
driving around with a Punisher sticker on the back of his truck.
No.
Fucking Blue Lives Matter flashing right next to his license plate.
You kidding me? Bo would not drive around with a Blue Lives Matter sticker.
Absolutely would.
Absolutely
he
not.
Said,
no,
this
he's
is
a
why we
libertarian.
live. No, because all those dudes think they're like, this is why we live here for freedom, but back to blue.
you know,
but you joke, but it did have a real Neil Young vibe to it. I like that a lot.
Yes.
Thank you. Going back to Blue, like the like here we go. No, like so like obviously I'm not on that side, but like I like when people put that sticker on, it's like, okay, I see where you stand. Okay, when people have the red one, the one with the red line, like, yeah, for the firemen. It's like nobody's mad at the firefighters, guys. Everybody's like, it's like, wow, thank you.
Okay. Take a note from the firefighters. Yeah. Rescue a kitten for once. Yeah, fucking Josh.
Why do you help people?
Especially because in a lot of areas they're volunteer firefighters.
But like just like that imagery is. I'm always like, what battle are you fighting? Like everybody loves firefighters.
They have that for everything. There's a different colored line for everything on the American flag, which is just desecration of the flag. You're not supposed to make any alterations to the flag whatsoever. The only alteration that's ever supposed to be made to the American flag is when they add another state and they add another star. Everything else is considered a desecration of the American flag.
No hems. They can't taper the legs of the flag. They can't go ahead and add extra buttons for the flag.
No, I'm saying nothing like my American flag bathing suit. Or my American flag shirts that I wear.
Going. He's still going.
Oh god, here he goes.
But back to Andy's song.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's right. Andy had a song. Because the clicker forgot, I did too.
Well, I mean that's really it. This movie is pretty good. Good and very good. That's what I say.
Nice.
good and
like
very
good, and then sometimes very good. But like for the most part, it's good.
Yeah. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Not like that one soccer player. I brought this up on Scrap Metal too, but it's one of my favorite fucking videos. The Italian soccer player who's like,
John, this is an American podcast.
Oh, football. Sorry.
No. We ain't talking about that sport. It's baseball or nothing.
Not even.
Come on now. What is this? Boston? I didn't move to this country to obey the laws of Boston. But yeah, that soccer player who's like, sometimes maybe good, sometimes
fuck
maybe
you,
shit.
John Adams.
Oh man, but this was a lot of fun. I loved your two songs, guys. And you guys actually inspired me to now write like a whole album's worth of songs based on horror movies. I've wanted to do that forever, and then this was the push that I needed.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll have you.
Rock and
We'll
roll,
definitely
baby.
have you back for another movie.
You are welcome
Heck
back
yeah.
anytime. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is a
Couple days ago, I texted Andy. I can't wait to talk about Gorillas in the Mist.
Yeah. I said, "Oh boy, what? He watched the wrong movie."
Oh boy.
I watched.
Oh boy.
I watched 30 Seconds to Mars.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
movies. I mean, just
I watched-
numbers in titles. That's my joke.
I watched Detective Doubtfire. This time it's personal.
Yeah, I always,
Okay, you know what? Hey, John, where can they find you on social media? Like you and your
They
podcast.
can find me at Jon Von Frankenstein on Instagram. They can find me on for Scrap Metal, the Scrap Metal Pod on Instagram. They can also go to our link tree within there to listen to all our past episodes, check out our website as well. They can also check me out at Moonlight Mad Reviews. That's over where I do a lot of my horror content and promotion for the Scared for Your Life Horror Film Festival. Again, October 28th in Huntington, New York, not Pennsylvania.
is there even a
Oh,
Huntington,
sick.
Pennsylvania?
I've no clue. I don't know. I made that stupid joke before, so
I'm glad you remembered that because I didn't remember it until you said it, and I was like, that was a good callback, but also really smart to do. From a comedy standpoint, that was really good, but also from like a business standpoint, that was
they
really
do call
smart
me
to
the
do.
Screech of comedy. So
Do
thank
they?
you.
Oh, so you're dead from some aggressive cancer?
That's true.
Because
I mean,
Screech
come see,
from
come saw.
he's dead, right?
Yeah, he is.
Really?
He did a porno and then he died.
Yeah,
He did a
during the
porno.
let me not.
Yeah, he did a porno.
Holy shit!
didn't know that?
No, I didn't know anything
Yeah.
about
You can tell what size of the internet Rob and I are on.
Yep. Actually, that brings me up to our famed segment we did for our Shrek 4 episode. And John, since you are a guest, I'm going to give you the honor. John, please bring up your phone or something with internet, and I want you to go to let's go to DeviantArt. Let's go to deviantart.com or whatever
Christ.
website that is. And I'm going to tell you
Private
exactly
route.
what
Really
you are
making him
going
do
to
that?
search for. He doesn't have to, but he went for it, so I'm going to go with it
Just John,
until he says no.
John, just so you know, like, because it hasn't, we haven't put it up yet, but for Shrek, for the final Shrek.
No.
podcast-
He'll know.
Okay.
Oh wait,
Alright,
that's right. It
fine.
hasn't
Yeah,
aired
it
yet, so
hasn't-
he
yeah.
has no idea we did this.
So I searched Fiona NSFW on Reddit for,
Oh
Yeah.
God.
and I
Okay, so-
immediately orgasmed.
John, are you ready?
Yep. Go for
Okay,
it.
so you're gonna type in vampire chick from 30 Days of Night.
It's not going to yield.
NSFW.
This is not going to yield the same results, Robbie. This
I
character.
hope not, because that's Fiona, and this is whatever the fuck vampire bitch's
This
name
character
is.
is not nearly as famous as Jonas.
He's got something.
Uh-oh.
What I got is what looks like furry illustrations.
Oh, why? Ew.
Yo,
Yeah.
send me that.
That's
Yo, send me
Zootopia?
that. Send me that. Yo, send me that. Well, I mean, this is going to be an extra long one, huh, Robbie?
Yes, it is.
That's what she said.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would
There
you
we go.
say that? Explain it to me, please.
We were getting
Guys,
them glizzies at the ballpark. Andy, where can they find the Royds?
You go to www. Wait. No. You go to Instagram. You go to Instagram. You go to _Royds. You like and subscribe. You also go to Spotify.
What? Who subscribes on
You
Instagram?
follow. You give us a follow and you like all of our shit. And if you don't, we'll find you and we'll kiss you right on the nape of your neck and make you feel really weird because you'll be like, I thought I was a heterosexual, but I'm feeling something. I'm feeling something here. I'm feeling something. So, hey, real quick, here's the story about me. In high school,
I don't like
No,
what
hear me out, hear
reminds
me
you
out.
of this
Hear me
story.
out. In high school, I'm sitting in math class, right? I'm sitting in math class, and this kid behind me named Brendan good guy. Shout out to Brendan. I won't say your last name just in case this paints you in a bad light.
Just in case, because I feel like someone's about to be accused of sexual assault.
All right, I'm sitting in math class, right? And he, for some reason, felt the urge to very gently caress the back of my neck with a pencil eraser, like the eraser side. He was just like very slowly going up and down my neck. And I was like, and then like after like 45 seconds, I was like, hold up, Brendan, stop. And he was like, oh, my bad. And that was it. But I remember in that moment, I was like, am I fucking gay? Am I gay? Am I gay?
That was the awakening Andy had.
And
Andy experienced 30 minutes of I might.
now I request my wife use erasers when we do anyway. So you can find us on Instagram _Royds, and then you can go to Spotify, you search the Royds, our ROYDS. We got 2 albums, a Christmas song, and we're just great stuff. And then you go to Bandcamp and you search the Royds, or go to TheRoyds.bandcamp.com, and you get all the podcast songs that we got, which is also great stuff. And are we going to be putting John's song on there as well?
I was going to ask him off the episode,
the
but now that you
pressure's
just fucking
on,
threw that
baby.
out there.
The pressure's on. No, you could you do whatever you want.
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit.
All right,
You heard it
cool.
here, folks. So
We'll get Mikey to make a video for it too.
oh heck
Sweet.
yeah, bring it on there. So what else are we promoting here?
That was Hulk Hogan choking on something.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something.
Shit. What else do we promote? Is that it? Where can they find you, Robbie?
They can find me at Robert Corridor on Instagram and Twitter. Also on Spotify or Apple Music. Like, rate, and review. Give us 5 stars on this. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe and shit.
Now, what is
And all that fun
now,
stuff.
Now, Robbie, what is your social security number? for
Oh,
the good people?
okay.
God.
Okay. 999-426-493421-712-9-1843.
That's it.
All right.
That's 4 people's social security numbers right there.
All right. Well,
Social security numbers aren't real.
what are we doing? What are we doing next week, Robbie?
Oh, that's a great question. We're doing Scream. Do you like scary movies?
Yeah.
Do you like dirty movies?
Yeah.
I mean, dirty.
Do you,
Like Dirty Harry. Yeah, I like Dirty.
yeah,
Harry.
Dirty
yeah,
Harry,
Yeah, like
Big
Dirty
Pig in the
Harry,
City.
Andy.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
No, pornography,
Pornography,
Andy.
Robbie.
Movies where men whip out their winkies and they're stinkum in the vinkies.
Robbie. Rule of threes. Robbie.
Oh, there we go. Got smart. We got to make sure we hit that rule of
Yeah.
threes.
Comedy 102.
It's the second
It's
class
second
you
class.
take in comedy. Why did we learn this in Comedy 101? I've been doing things in 7s.
If I could go back in time, I would go back about 20 seconds and change it to 103 because it's rule of threes.
Makes it funnier that it's 102.
You know what? You
Yeah, I
can just
guess.
say it and I can edit it.
Nah.
Okay.
You know, we're really fucking padding this one out. It's already fucking 6 hours. We're fucking
This is not 6. It
long.
might be about 2.
I have a UTI now from holding it so long. We've been recording forever.
I'm glad someone else
I was
said
a guest on the Royds Review podcast, and all I got was this UTI.
Shirts now available. We should make shirts like that for all of our guests.
Yeah.
Oh man, and then I can make similar shirts for when I have sex with a woman, and I'll change the U to an S.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we should probably end this. We're doing
Gonna
Scream next week. Send us an email.
Saying
roydsreview@gmail.com. Bye everybody. Oh yeah,
Bye.
and also check out Jon Von Frankenstein, not Hernandez. Jon Von
And
Frankenstein.
the Scrap
That's his
Metal
actual name.
podcast, they got me into Ghost, and now I'm a big Ghost fan.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Heck yeah.